I cannot remember where I stopped about 2 weeks ago. Number? Pardon? 13 or 13. Must be 12. 13 is repetition, asking the next one. There's no meaning. Number 12. Pahuta vitto puriso sahiranyo sabhojano eko bhunjati sadhuni tang parabhavato mukham. Parabhava means downfall. Here the Buddha mentioned few causes for our downfall. Why we decline, why we had to suffer, and why we had to face unnecessary problems and troubles and disturbances and worries, not created by others. Most of them actually were created by our own mind. Either we put into action or by talking. If not, mind itself create lot of disturbances. That is why here the Buddha wanted to tell us how to behave, what are the duties, what are the things that we have to do, what are the things that we should not do. These are for our way of life, because we start from the very beginning, our duties, householders' way of life, married life, business life, and duties toward the family and relatives and the country and the nations and the government, everything mentioned by the Buddha. Started like this from the beginning. Then later, when realization appears in our mind, by knowing or experiencing problems that we had to face, by developing too much of attachment and craving toward the worldly life, then slowly we try to reduce, minimize, then divert our mind on a spiritual development, calm down certain human weaknesses that we have in our mind, like anger, jealousy, grudge and enmity and ill will. Slowly we try to train. Then, on the other hand, we try to cultivate certain duties as human beings. We are called humans because of these good qualities. They are sympathy, kindness, compassion, and tolerance, patience, unity, harmony. All these are the good qualities. So we are called human or manushya because of these good qualities. Otherwise, there is no difference between animals and humans. Because it is mentioned, ahara nidra bhaya maithunancha, eating, sleeping, self-protection and sex. These four things are very common in every living being in this world. Whether they are big or small, every living being experiences these four things. So if human beings also spend their life only for these four things, then there is no difference between animals and humans. And we are higher than animals because we had to develop further without devoting our whole life only for those 4 things. Ahara, Nidra, Bhayamata. Dharmo hitesang adhiko visesa. There is some sort of extraordinary the qualities in human beings which we cannot find in other living beings. Here is the difference. So what are those differences? We have something which is called dharma. We can use the word religion also, but the original name or term is dharma. We have certain qualities, virtues that we practice as dharma. By knowing certain things are bad, certain things are good. Not because of fear of God or the Buddha or hell or suffering in the next life, but through understanding. 2 weeks ago I went to a Catholic church, here Clan, to give a talk. Then somebody asked this question. And you say, the Buddha says like this. And we say, God says like this. Then which one is correct? Then I told them, forget about your God, forget about Buddha. Use your common sense of reasoning. Then you can understand what is right and what is wrong. Take for an example, God says you should not steal. The Buddha also says you should not steal. Is it difficult for us to understand that it is wrong without God or without Buddha? That is more than enough. We use our common sense and understanding. We know these things are wrong. But religion actually reminds the Buddha. Just now, you observe these 5 precepts. You know them very well. Not because of the orders or the commandment or the laws given by the Buddha. The Buddha reminded us. And we repeat. When we repeat, then we remember. Only for that purpose. Now, you know, Muslims pray 5 times a day. Why? For them to remember their religion. And Buddhists, sometimes when we meet some people, we do not know whether they are Buddhists or not. When we ask, are you a Buddhist? They say, yes, we are Buddhists, because on Vesak day we go to a temple. They are Vesak Buddhists. They remember Buddhism only on Vesak day. There's a saying in Islam, when you come to your business, you have to think you won't die so easily. You can live long life. That is to create confidence and work hard. Otherwise people think, why should we work so hard? After a few years time we may die. Then that confidence they cannot develop. But Islam says, no, when you come to business, you have to think you won't die so easily. Then you use your full effort for your business. But when the time comes for you to pray, you have to think you may die today or tomorrow. Not to neglect the religion. That is how they encourage people. So, now all these 5 precepts, just now we mentioned, Panatipata, by knowing it is wrong, we don't want to destroy or kill other living being. Because every living being suffer, experience pain, fear of death. So, we deprive their living right. Every living being on this earth has living right. So we should not deprive them just because we have more power, more knowledge. Other living beings are innocent. Therefore easily we can kill them. But they too have living right. So when we say we do not want to destroy others' life, then we develop this understanding. By knowing it is wrong, we keep away from that. But others say, oh, we cannot kill because God says we should not kill. If God keep quiet without telling, then you can kill. Buddhism is not that type of religion. Again, certain things the Buddha asked us to do and not to do. So we try to practice not because the Buddha said. Buddha told us just because they are wrong and they are right. This is the way that we have to understand. So, this one. Pahutavitto puriso rahiranyo sabhojano eko bhunjati sadhuni Sangparabhavto mukha. It is mentioned here, the man who owns much property, who has gold and food, but alone enjoys his delicacies, this is the cause of his downfall. Here, the Buddha wanted to tell us, when we are rich. Rich means we have more than enough things. Our food and clothing and accommodations and transport and all the necessary things are there. But if we enjoy our life by neglecting others, there are a lot of deserving cases who need our support. In this country it is not that bad, but in certain countries like India, Bangladesh, Indonesia and Africa, they really suffer their life. So, if we can contribute something for their well-being, to satisfy their need, then we fulfill our duties as human beings. So the advice given by the Buddha is, you should not enjoy yourself or your family alone, but think of others. Try to do something what you can to make them happy or for their well-being or to satisfy their hunger. And some are sick, no medicine, no money to go to hospital or for that. Then some have not enough clothing. So if we can do something for them, then we are fulfilling our humane qualities, virtues. Here, if we neglect this, here the Buddha says, Sangparabhavto mukham. That can become the cause of your downfall. First thing, others do not respect you because you are not doing anything for the others, only for yourself. When you are in trouble, they don't want to come and help you because you have not done anything for the others here within this lifetime. And hereafter, after our death, we have departed from this world with empty hand. We enjoy our life, but all this enjoyment we cannot carry to our next life. Everything we drop here when we depart from this world. What we have given to others, we can claim as our property. Muhammad says there are only three things that we can claim as ours. What we have contributed towards our religion, what we have given to others to satisfy their poverty or sickness or hunger, and what we have taken as food. Because we maintain our physical body, energy, because of that. Only these three we can claim as ours, belong. The rest are not ours. But we have dumped and collecting here and there without using or helping others. The similar teachings we can find in every religion. So what will happen? While we are living, we work very hard. You want to collect. Yes, the Buddha advised us to do that. You have to work hard, you have to collect. You should not neglect what you have collected. And you have to keep something for your rainy days, invest. Because to lead a worldly life, these things are very important. But you should not forget to fulfill certain duties towards others by cultivating sympathy or kindness, harmony. Then we respect our human values. We develop our human values. So if not, what will happen? After working very hard, earning, enjoying, one day we depart from this world. There's nothing. We have gone with empty hand. Due to certain good karmas that we have accumulated during the previous birth. Because all of us have a lot of karma, good karma and bad karma, not yet affected. They follow us. Wherever we go, just like our shadow. All these good karma, bad karma follow us. When the chances and circumstances are there, then affect either good karma or bad karma. So those people who have not accumulated enough good karma for the next existence, if they were born as humans due to certain other good karma, but they haven't got enough good karma to support them, to maintain, to carry on that life, then they are in difficulty. They are the ones in many parts of the world who are suffering, starving, no shelter, no food, no clothing, suffering. Because these things we gain easily due to certain good karma that we have accumulated. Otherwise we had to work so hard. Even then we won't get enough. It is clearly mentioned, I mentioned earlier, when I was explaining Mangala Sutra. I started this Mangala Sutra. Patirupa desa vasocha ubbecha kata punyata. Those who have done some good meritorious deeds or good karma get the chance to be born in certain countries, certain families, certain areas where they can lead their life without struggling for survival. They can live peacefully, They can lead comfortable life because of their good karma are there to support them. Yes. No, another religion cannot give answer for this. When people ask, why God create millions of human beings in this world to suffer for nothing, no reason at all, they cannot give the answer. Here the answer is given by the Buddha. They were not created by God. Their own karma support them, at the same time disturb them due to lack of good karma. So, whatever we have collected, left behind. We cannot carry anything. Artha grihe niyuttante. Smasane mitra bandhava. Our friends and relatives follow us up to cemetery, grave or crematorium. But the departed person goes alone. Nobody wants to follow and join with that person. But if that person has not done enough good karma, and he has gone with empty hand. If he has done some good karma, he or she carry something to start the new life. Then can live without struggling for survival. We can see when you see the world, how one group is suffering and the other group is enjoying their life. It is not God is responsible for that, our own karma. That is why this advice was given by the Buddha for us to understand. Through this understanding, we can, many things, we know these things are wrong. Not necessary the Buddha to tell us, we also can understand. But the Buddha reminds us, because we have forgotten, we neglected, then we violate them. And the good things also like this. Again, I think you can remember, I have mentioned this earlier also. There are many in this world who have no religion, never claim that they belong to this religion or that religion. And they have no God, no heaven, no hell, no rebirth, no karma. These are the 5 ingredients of every religion. Without these 5, there is no religion. But these people do not believe. But many of them lead very gentle, respectable, useful life. They try to keep away from many immoral, wicked, harmful things. Keep away. Not because of fear of God or hell or this or that. By knowing these things are wrong. That understanding we have to develop, whether we have religion or not. On the other hand, they do lot of services to others to release their suffering. They are not doing that by expecting a big reward from God or create good karma to enjoy life in the next birth. They have no such feeling. But they think, as human beings, it is our duty to do something to release others' suffering, understanding. They have no religion. Although we say they have no religion, no religion means they have no religious labels. Religion and religious label, 2 things. Now, Buddhism is a label. Christianity is a label. Hinduism is a label. Islam is a label. When we remove these labels, then we cannot say we have a religion or we belong to any particular religion. But through our understanding, we observe, we practice religious principles. Religion is one thing, religious principles are those free thinkers, they observe religious principles, but no label. Today, the whole world, different religious groups are fighting, quarreling, declare war, create violence because these religious labels. But if they practice religious principles, there is nobody to create jealousy or enmity or discrimination. Principles are the same. People never think this. Now, I think you can remember, I have told you that the Buddha was not a Buddhist. Jesus was not a Christian. And Krishna was not a Hindu. These labels given by us to them. And we introduced a religion by using their names. After that, we say Buddhism or Christianity or Hinduism. But the founders of these religions had no religious label. They are enlightened, holy, pure, religious teachers. All the good principles are there in them. But we organize rites and rituals and ceremonies and worshippings and offerings and all sorts of things according to our way of life, our traditions, our culture, we organize. These things are important for us as external activities. Otherwise, people cannot understand that the religion is living. When we organize certain activities, then we can, it is a living religion, because people can see many activities. Take for instance, every day you come and meditate here without organizing any other religious programs. Then some others feel that it is a dead religion, not living. Because others do not know how to appreciate this. Therefore, we had to see the various aspects in our religious activities. Then our duties, our way of life. Again, another big problem. When we go and preach Buddhism to others, they say, not only Buddhism, we Christian, Muslim, Hindus also preach not to do bad things and do good things. Then how can you say Buddhism is higher than the other religion? Every religion says, you should not do these bad things, you must do good things. Then how can we prove that Buddhism is higher than the other religion? Can you find a religion that encourages people to do bad things and not to encourage people to do some service? So what is your answer if anybody asks this question? I want to listen from you what you are going to tell. Where is the difference? If not, where is the superiority in Buddhism? Have you got anything to say? There is? All right. The essence of Buddhism, at the beginning I have explained within 3 lines. the essence of Buddhism. Can you remember those 3 lines? What is the first one? Not to do bad thing. Second one, do good. Good means especially some service to others. That is the real meaning of doing good. Third one, that you cannot find in other religion. Understand? Sa-chitta pariyodapana. The Buddha says, you must try to train, discipline, develop, purify your own mind. Another person cannot do that. God cannot do that. The difference is there. Then the method taught by the Buddha. How to do that? Today, a lot of Christians, especially Catholics, come and stay in Buddhist monasteries and stay for a few months and learn meditation. Because there is no meditation in their religion. To train the mind, to discipline and purify and control, when they go back, they teach others. One Catholic bishop came from America, Washington, and stayed 4 days in our temple to study monastic way of life. What we do, how we eat, and what we eat, what we do, our daily routine. So we had a long discussions with them. He was very happy. So this you cannot find in any other religion, because other religion advise you to develop faith and belief, not the purity of the mind. You must believe, you must have faith, but there is no religion to tell us you must purify your mind. Only Buddhism. The Buddha said, don't believe, don't accept anything at once. You have to think and investigate and observe, consider, and then you can accept. After that, instead of faith, we gain confidence. Confidence is more stronger than faith and belief. So, if others say, yes, all these religions say not to do bad thing, do good thing, then as Buddhists can say, the Buddha taught us how to train, how to tame, how to discipline, how to cultivate, and how to purify our mind. Without doing this, there is no salvation. We cannot get this salvation from God. We cannot get our salvation from the Buddha. The Buddha says, I can tell you how to do that. This is the difference. Sa-chitta pariyodapana. Etang buddhana sasanam. That means this is the message of every Buddha who appears in this world from time to time. The Buddhas have no different kind of teaching. After gaining enlightenment, they realized the truth. Truth is truth. So they revealed the truth. This is the truth. No different teaching. So remember this. How to purify the mind, and without mental purification, simply by developing faith and belief toward God or Buddha or anybody, we cannot gain our salvation. This is the difference. Now here, I have gone beyond my, what do you call this? The trouble when started to talk, next one. 14. Jati thaddo dhana thaddo. Then gotta thaddo chayo naro. Sanyating atimanyeti. Tang parabhavato mukha. Few items are there. Number 14. The man who takes pride in birth or wealth. Jati thaddo, dhana thaddo. Jati means birth, dhana means wealth. Then, clan. Which clan? Whether you are Hokkien, no Cantonese, or Techiu, they call clan. You try to show that Hokkien is better than others. Some say, no, Cantonese are better than these are the problems we are facing. Like Indians say, Brahmins are higher than the others. Then, his own kinsmen neglect. Because they are proud. We are rich. We were born in rich family. And we have more than enough things. Why do we worry about the others? And neglect their relatives and so many deserving cases, but they can do some service, also they neglect. Then, this attitude can become the cause of their downfall. Because they were born in a royal family, aristocratic family, high-class family. But the way of life is changing, never remain forever. And the wealth and property, we know many millionaires who lived in this country. And there are children today living as beggars. They have completely lost their property because they do not know how to maintain their property. Others may come and bluff them, cheat them, steal. If not, they waste. Because they got property, big property, without working. Very easily they got very big property. Therefore they go on spending, wasting. Finally become the cause of downfall. And they are also very proud. We belong to high class, we are rich, and condemn others. Maintain superiority complex in them. That attitude become the cause of our downfall. Because now we know certain politicians in many countries who have ruled the country as prime ministers or presidents or the kings, and after next generation completely collapse. And there's not a single person from their family to maintain, to carry on, completely collapse. This is the uncertainty of the position and what you call the feeling that they maintain that we are higher than the others. So, as long as we maintain this pride, attainment of 4 stages of sainthood. Sotapanna, Sakadagami, Anagami, Arahat. Arahat, after that Nirvana. To attain these 4 stages, we had to drop 10 bondages, fetters, Sangyojana. Dasa Sangyojana, 10 fetters. To attain the first stage of sainthood, Sotapanna, we had to drop 3. By keeping these 3, whatever we do, no attainment of sainthood. What are those 3? Sakkaya Ditti, Vichikiccha, Silabbata Paramas. These 3. Sakkaya Ditti. Strong egoism they maintain, and also maintain some sort of belief that I have eternal soul. As long as they maintain this, they cannot attain even first stage of sainthood. They have to drop this one. Second one is Vichikiccha. Vichikiccha means a skeptical doubt. Doubt and skeptical doubt, 2 groups. The skeptical doubt means without studying, without thinking, and without observing, simply they suspect certain things and do not believe. That is called skeptical doubt. Let us take, we say Buddha is the enlightened religious teacher. Then people say, what is that enlightenment? He is also a human being. What is there for us to take as a big thing? That is called skeptical doubt. Then the Dharma taught by the Buddha can pave the way for us to get rid of our suffering. Then what is this Dharma? We cannot understand. Skeptical doubt. So as long as we maintain this kind of doubt, we never get the chance to attain first stage of sainthood. Third one, Silabbata Paramas. The followers of many religions cling to rites and rituals and ceremonies as religious duties. They think these things are compulsory. Without performing these rites and rituals, they say they cannot practice religion. They develop too much of attachment toward these practices. The Buddha says, if you develop this kind of attachment toward the rites and rituals, you cannot attain the first stage of sainthood. That means, by reducing external activities, what we perform as religious services, but we had to develop our insight, some sort of purity in the mind, religious way of life. Then first stage. Second stage, Sakadagami. Sakadagami means once returner. Once returner means if that person has not yet attained Arahanta, after death, rebirth takes place only once. Because they have cut down a lot of attachment to the worldly life. Only once. Then, to attain that second stage, we had to reduce to defilement or bondages or fetters 50%. Because they are so strong in our mind, we cannot uproot at once. We can reduce 50%. What are those 2? Kamaraga at once. Indulgence, sensual pleasure, worldly pleasure. So we can reduce 50%. Then the second one is called Patigha. Anger, jealousy, hatred, grudge, ill will, enmity. There are so many evil forces, one line. In the same line, different degrees. So we had to reduce 50% of this. Then we attained the second stage of sainthood, Sakadagami. Rebirth takes place only once, after that attain Arahanta easily. Then the third stage, Anagami. Anagami means never returner. If that person has not yet attained Arahantahood, after his or her death, rebirth or existence takes place in Suddhavasa, pure abode, one of the Brahma world, not as human being. Then reduce the other 50%. Sensual pleasure and anger, other 50% also drop completely. So the mind is completely free from sensual pleasure and anger. Now 5 more, still we are holding. Highest stage, Arahantahood. To attain the highest stage of Arahantahood, we had to drop 5 things. These 5 we carried up to the last moment. It is so strong, deeply rooted into our mind. What are those 5? Ruparaga, Aruparaga, Mana, Uddhacca, Avidya. 5. Ruparaga. Attachment toward the formation. Rupa means form. Raga means attachment, craving. In Brahma world, their physical body is so beautiful and physical burden is not like ours. Now many people crave for that. The Buddha says that craving also a hindrance for the spiritual development. Then second one is Aruparaga. Life exists without formation, without a body. Many people like it because no physical burden. Life, mental energy exists, but no physical body. They think, oh, that one is very nice, we will be free from physical burdens. That craving also we had to drop. Ruparaga, Mana. Just now we also mentioned pride. You see, this pride in our mind is so strong. We carry this up to the top. Attain Arahanthood. We cannot become Arahant by keeping this pride. Only at the last moment we drop this pride. Then Uddhacca. Uddhacca means the restlessness in our mind. There are 2 reasons for that. First thing, early part of our life, we have done certain bad things. And they are already in our subconscious mind. And these things project and disturb the mind. Very difficult to maintain calmness, restlessness. The advice given by the Buddha when a king came and asked, I have seen the priest or the monk of various other religions, but when I look at your disciples, your monks, I can see very serene looking, good complexion. So this serenity I cannot find among the other religious groups. What is the secret? Then the Buddha explained. It's very important. He said, Atitang nanusochanti. My disciples do not worry or regret for the bad things that they have committed in the early part of their life. That means to overcome, they have done more and more and more and more good karma, development. Therefore, those evil thoughts had no chance to penetrate, to disturb the mind. Atitang nanusochanti. Nappajappanti nagatang. My disciples never worry about their future. When they grow old, and where are they going to stay, and who are going to attend to them, they have no such feeling. They are fully contented, and they never worry by thinking their future. Second reason. Third reason, Pachupannena yapenti. Whatever they receive in their day-to-day life, they satisfy. Never say not enough. Contentment is there. Never grumble. Never ask any more. Because of these three qualities, you can see the serenity in their faces and good complexion. Here, for the attainment of this arahanthood, we had to drop this pride we maintain that we are higher than the others. As a race or complexion or the country, we think we are higher than the others. So we had to cultivate our understanding, our mind, to think that we are all human beings. That's all. That's what Dalai Lama, he says, when I meet another person, I never think of his or her religion, race, color or anything. I feel I met another human being. We have to develop up to that level. That is what here. So restlessness, second reason, certain bad karma that we have committed during our previous birth are still functioning in our subconscious mind. Influence. Those karmas also create restlessness in their mind. So if there are no such feeling, restlessness in the mind, then ready to attain arahanthood. Ruparaga, aruparaga, mana, uddhacca, avidya. Last one. This avidya we carry up to the last moment. That is the last thing that we drop. What is avidya? Our ignorance. this ignorance, completely from the very beginning up to the end of our life, ignorance misleads us. Ignorance nurtures bad things, evil things. Ignorance does not allow us to know, to understand. So, ignorance does not mean the worldly knowledge or the science or philosophy, psychology and material things, academic knowledge, not belong to. Ignorance means, now take for instance, we do not know why we are here. That is, due to our ignorance we cannot understand. Then we create our own imagination. Some people say, oh, we were created by the God. Some others say, it's not God, it is our fate. We have become human beings like this. Some others say, accidentally, we have become human beings. There is nobody to plan or create, to organize. Accidentally, we have become human beings. All these ideas they create because of their ignorance. Then, we have everything, more than enough things. But we experience unsatisfactoriness. Why? Why we experience unsatisfactoriness? We gained what we wanted, longing for a long period. After gaining this, we get fed up. Unsatisfactoriness. If not, we want to change into something else. So throughout our life, how many times a day we experience this unsatisfactoriness? That is due to our ignorance. So this ignorance we drop there. After cultivating all the other good quality, dropping all the evil forces, then last thing that we drop is our ignorance. Then Arahanta. Final. After that, final salvation. Here, the advice given by this pride, this mana, all of us carry up to the last stage. Then only we drop it. Otherwise, never give up. Well, 16. Ittidutto suradutto akkadutto chayo naro. Laddhang vinaseti tang parabhavato mukha. Now here he has given few reasons. Itti, Sura, Akka. Three things for the downfall. Itti means women. The men who always run after women. That attitude becomes the cause of his downfall. Definitely. Therefore, he must have some sort of contentment and limit to maintain his dignity. Otherwise, become the cause of his downfall mentally, physically, and bad reputation in many ways. Ittidutto. Suradutto. Sura means intoxicating, drinks and drugs. If people are addicted or drinks or drugs, definitely this will become the cause of his downfall. There's nothing to explain. Everybody knows. Third one, Akkadutta, gambling. In Islam, one of the main principles, according to their religion, gambling. But the Buddha did not include gambling into the 5 precepts. Gambling, our own downfall because of this. But we are not going to harm others. We go and gamble and we lose and come back and worry. Some people commit suicide also. Those who go to the, what do you call this, Genting Island, lost everything and commit suicide. Cannot tolerate. Their houses, their motor cars, their property, all gone because of gambling. So, however, the Buddha did not include this as a precept. He advised, if you are addicted for gambling, that will become the cause of your downfall. 3 things. Because they always ask, what is the Buddhist attitude toward gambling? Here he mentioned, but not as a precept, but as an advice. It is better for you to keep away from them, knowing that will become the cause of the downfall. Now this is a controversial issue regarding share market. People ask whether is it not gambling. I cannot say actually it is a gambling. Because you go and buy a share and wait. So when you come to know that share increase, you go and sell and take more money. It is no gambling. It is an investment. But some people try to introduce this as gambling. But I don't agree with them. We should not go to such extremes. You can take share, no harm at all. It is investment. Of course, sometimes you get into trouble. When the share goes down, you had it. Then you have to worry. So these things are very important for us to discuss and to know and have clear understanding. What is the Buddhist attitude towards certain things? Because different religions have different... Now Christianity doesn't talk anything about drinking liquor and gambling. But Islam, very strong. Gambling and drinking, very strong. Are the most important principles to them. Hindus and Buddhists are liberal for certain things. They don't know to go to extremes for certain things. So different attitude, different religions. Okay? Sharing of merits. Imina punya kammena upajjaya gunottara acari upakaraca mata pita piya mamam suriyo candi maharaja gunavanta narapica Brahma Maharaja Indra Lokapalacha Devata Yamo Mita Manusacha Majjata Veri Sabbe satta sukhiyantu punyani pakatani me sukhanca tividang dentu kippang papeta omatang imina punya kammena imina uddisena ca kippahang sulabhe ceva tannupadana ye santane nadamma yava nibbanato mamam nassantu sabbadayeva yatta jato bhave bhave ujjo citto satipanyo salleko viriyavamina maralabantu no kasam kasunca viriyesu me buddhadi pavaronato dhammonato varuttamo nato pacceka sambuddho sangho nato taro mama Tirottamanubhavena makasang labantuma. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada suttivantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada suttivantu te. Bhavatu sabba mangalang rakkhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada suttivantu te.